News. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has decried reliance on rain-fed agriculture as the main obstacle towards income and food security for farmers in Uganda. Museveni emphasizes the need for mass irrigation in the country to reduce reliance on nature-driven farming through investment in solar-powered water irrigation systems. He was speaking during the closure of the third biennial conference of Chief Executive Officers at Chobe Safari Lodge in Nwoya District.
It's all yours. I think for me the biggest risk for agriculture has been the weather. And the answer for that is irrigation. And we are doing two efforts. Effort number one is the Ministry of Agriculture to use the gift God gave us, because God gave us a very good arrangement. You have high mountains like the Rwenzori with rivers, so many rivers from Mount Rwenzori, Ruimi, Mobuku, Nyamugasani, there are so many of them. We are now just using only one, Mobuku, for irrigation. And there's no pumping here. The water is coming from up, you just direct it. So we are going to use more of those rivers around the Rwenzori for gravity irrigation. On the side of the Elgon, we have a small project at Doho Rice Scheme. But those rivers are also there. Manafa, Malaba, Greek River, all those rivers are there. So we are going to do more of those gravity irrigation. But to cover the whole country, we have attracted a manufacturer who will manufacture solar-powered water pumps, where you can have your solar-powered water pump, which pumps for you water to a high ground, and you irrigate your farm locally, even if you are not part of the other gravity flow scheme. In Karamoja, we are going to, there is that river, there is a river there. I've forgotten the name, which we are going to dam, and it will also be used for irrigation. So this is the biggest, because the other ones, you are talking of insurance. Insurance from what? From main drought. Okay, there are some other problems like pests and so on, which are easier to deal with. But the biggest one is, so we are going to shift from rain-fed agriculture to irrigation agriculture.
Now, in closing, ladies and gentlemen, we'll stand up. I had hoped I would get a picture, but it will be on another occasion.
The first inter-schools competition science and innovations fair for refugee community secondary schools in Adjumani has ended. The fair at Adjumani Model SS was organized by Windell International in partnership with the Uganda Science Education Program Office of the Prime Minister with funding from the United Nations High Commission for Refugees.
Unlike secondary schools in the rest of the country, science education in refugee community secondary schools calls for special attention considering the migratory nature of the students. To help students embrace science-related subjects, the Uganda Science Education Program WUSEP, with funding from the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, Windell International, Office of the Prime Minister, have organized an inter-schools competition for Adjumani District at Adjumani Model Secondary School.
To go back to the literature review, why have we decided to come up with this program? Globally, 20 million infants are born with a low birth weight and over 3 million infants die during the neonatal period, where a third of these deaths are attributed to maternal and child undernutrients.
President is calling for value addition. There is no way we shall have value addition unless we have advanced in innovation, in this scientific innovation.
The fairs follow an earlier interclass science fair which took place in the participating schools. The refugee desk officer with the Prime Minister's office, Bosco Centum, appreciated the move and pledged further support.
We believe that this will continue. We shall continue supporting this. Even next year, it's our hope that we shall have the same activity, and we believe that when it comes to next year, we shall do something much better.
Both the Window International and USEP officials encouraged the participating students.
Be able to produce educated, empowered, and inspired young people. And with this innovation, we think they will be able to be empowered, and they will also be able to inspire others, because they will be able to innovate, bring in new ideas to solve the local problems.
Next science fairs, these are the things that we would like to see improve. One is we did not see a lot of use of locally available local material.
Edward Konjuko for UBC TV, Ajumani District.
State Minister for Kampala, Kabuye Chofa Togabiye, has launched the Kampala Metropolitan Boda Cyclist Leadership. According to the minister, the leadership headed by Maweje Frank will organize and unite Boda cyclists and improve their standards of living.
The purpose was simple. I needed a voice, a common voice, which is actually similar to Wutuf under the taxi operations. And I believe it isn't our work when, as far as taxi operations in the city is concerned. Of course, I understand there are still some bit of loopholes there, but at least they can be managed. And normally such cases, when they come, they are handled properly and easier. And it's the same thing which I need to be replicated on the border side or industry or business, so that we can have a voice, a common voice, which can be handy in handling most of the issues which have been grappling with us. And among the things they are going to really work on is the way we want to streamline the border operations, the road, promoting the road safety and ensuring there is enough security, both for the riders, and then the national security is not compromised. Then that will require a lot of aspects, things like common uniforms, which are identifiable with those reflector jackets, very identifiable with the QR codes, unlike the current reflector jackets around, enforcing discipline among themselves. And then as cases say, I need revenue from them, and they are aware. So when time comes, I will charge them to start paying me something, because they are operating in my city minus paying.
Gwali mulimu gwaffe nga wajjamu kugucyankalanya, wajjamu kubba, wajjamu kutemuliramu, wajjamu kukola bintu bimenya mateeka, luno olukiiko lugenda kukwera mu sekita.
Parents in Karamoja sub-region are advised to desist from marrying off young girls in exchange for animals, as this destroys the future of the young generation, but instead embrace education. Moroto District Resident Commissioner George William Wopua was officiating at the Live Your Dream Youth Camp that was organized by the Youth and Adolescent Health Forum in partnership with BRAC Uganda. It's aimed at empowering the young people to boldly challenge, report and speak out against forms of violence, injustices and sexual abuse, plus oppression, among others.
The United Nations Population Fund Population Matters of 2022 shows that Karamoja registered 7,377 teenage pregnancies in 2021. This has resulted into high levels of poverty, female genital mutilation, forced and child marriages, child migration to urban areas, and high school dropout rates.
It has made the parents poor. You are rich today, tonight you are made poor. You are killed, and then you breed in the orphans. There are so many widows, there are so many kind of, today, many young child-headed families. This is the case, all these are the impact of the society.
These challenges are coming because of the economic burden, economic challenges. The
The Uganda Youth and Adolescents Forum with BRAC Uganda, with funding from United Nations Population Fund, organized a 4-day Live Your Dream youth camp on the theme Leaving No Young Persons Behind, positioning young people in the fight for gender equality, sexual reproductive health rights, life skills enhancement, drug and substance abuse mitigation and leadership. The project manager at Uganda Youth and Adolescents Forum, Winfred Opio, explains the aim of the camp.
Empower them to be able to be champions of change in their communities, but then also to just be able to realize that their dreams do not end based on the different sexual reproductive health circumstances that may have befallen them. Moroto District LOC 5 Chairperson David Koryang appealed to partners to fund education in Karamoja.
Our partners want you to support education at all levels, whether skill development, whether professional levels. It's management now to UNAPA, to BRAC, all these partners that are helping in this thing. That can we build an institution for Karamoja? Can we get one school supported by the donors where all their girls, advocates, are put to strive for good?
Moroto RDC George William Wopu and David Koryang urged parents to desist from marrying off young girls for animals.
Let us avoid, let us really refrain from killing, destroying the future.
Go to school. It will be better. You are aware that we have schools without children. Many of them would have been built, we have seen schools to build, but parents can no longer don't want to take children to school. So there's a question of mind change. And without education, you cannot change a community. Then there was the
Moroto leadership commended the organizers of the camp. Over 200 youth across Karamoja between 15 and 25 years participated in the camp at Moroto High School. The participants include youth in and out of school, adolescent mothers, and their caretakers.
Farmers in Chibale district have appealed to government to subsidize the small-scale irrigation system to an affordable cost. Farmers who were being trained on how to use the irrigation system at Hess Farm in Nyamarua sub-county Chibale district said that the co-founding fees are still too high to be raised by local farmers who could wish to practice agriculture. The farmers say that the co-founding charges range between 3 to 5 million Uganda shillings.
Chibale district has 6 farmers with full irrigation systems installed and functional, while 25 have been approved to receive the irrigation system. Chibale Senior Agriculture Officer Hassan Matova wants government to allow small-scale farmers pay the co-funding in installments manageable by local farmers.
The government, if they could revise that one, they encourage our farmers to pay instrumentally because the kind of income or sources of income cannot allow them to pay 5 million at once as upfront payment.
Uganda has abundant freshwater resources, but lack of water infrastructure to tackle the unpredictable rainfall patterns. But there is fear that the irrigation system will be affected by the drying up water systems.
It's growing, people are cutting down trees, people are encroaching on wetlands. So that is still a challenge. You install a system today, the following day, the water is nowhere to be seen.
Land conflicts may arise since irrigation pipes could pass through other people's land and may require collaboration with landowners.
But we make sure that from the start we ensure that the land has no conflict.
Chibale district is among the 40 districts to benefit from the microscale irrigation program rolled out in 2020 under the Ministry of Agriculture. Chibale district technical officer, the agriculture officer and deputy RDC says the program will support wetland conservation.
So the coming of this new project has helped us, one, to demonstrate to our farmers that using water can help you, can push you out of the wetland and you utilize your real land to boost on productivity.
We have senior agriculture officers, so farmers are supported.
Uganda's economy employing over 68% of the population in the agriculture sector, contributing 25% to GDP. The program is part of the Uganda's national irrigation policy to create irrigated land by the year 2040.
UBC Lunchtime News, let's take a short break. Please keep it with us.
MTN kutusako. Ship the night ku Kampala Serena Hotel, Victoria Hall Friday nga mwena December. Neku Saturday nga 10 December. Ukwingira shinge mtwalo 15. Emeze ni kama ntomunana ya milioni 3. Hate alebadi wogulanga bujali. Mtwalo 10. Eno 2 days mega concert. Ku Sunday nga 11 Freedom City. 16 December Chotera Mchawe. 17 December Mbarara Ajip Motel. 18 December Fort Porto au Mubuhinga Stadium. Connections of mtwalo mu VIP mtwale 3. Beautiful Shiba, Swag Mama, Ice Cream, Queen Kama. Waku konko na nyimba zezo na hit to hit. Kati musale wunga buchalaba. Tusale ko Serena. Mwitino wana bubaira mos butekelo. Wabana bubasida pizza matuga mpuruma. Keti events. Yeti setinze. Ne.
MTN.
Welcome to Friends Stadium. Everybody's ready. Wait a second, not everybody. Come on, dude, it's the FIFA World Cup. You're going to lose your seat, the ritual seat, the lucky one. Losing more than a seat, your team is going to lose. Where are you, dude? The match is about to start. Your friends won't hold out much longer. Excuse me. Finally, everything is in the right place. Hey, other hand. And you, do you have everything you need to believe?
Get connected today with the My Airtel 4G smartphone, the most affordable smartphone in Uganda. You get to enjoy free 1 GB for 1 whole year. My Airtel 4G smartphone, your best value for money. Visit the nearest Airtel outlet today and get one at only 250,000 Uganda shillings. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Happiness comes to us in many places. It's in knowing the mosquito net keeps our children healthy. The wife having the support of her husband. It's in deciding together when to have a baby. And for some, focusing on what's important right now. So what's your happiness? Make the right health decisions to ensure happiness for you and your family.
UBC Lunchtime News, welcome back from the break and thank you so much for keeping it with us. Now, in more news, Ministry of Education and Sports has released the list of the 9th cohort of the students' loan beneficiaries for the academic year 2022-23. State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Muyingo, told the media that of the 625 beneficiaries, 60% of them are males and 33% who have benefited from this year's loan scheme program are females.
Among the beneficiaries include 23 students with disabilities who are exempted to pursue either science or humanities programs. Out of the 3,089 applications received this year, 2,417 were eligible. Of these, 1,854 were male, 563 were female.
The 625 beneficiaries being added to the scheme today increases the number of loan beneficiaries to 13,405 loan beneficiaries.
67% are male, 33% are female. Of these, 518, that is 83%, are undergraduate degree students, and the remaining 17% are undergraduate diploma students.
The 2022-2023 loan scheme targeted those who missed out on the previous academic year, as there were no 2022 USC examinations.
We are proud to support 23 universities this academic year and a host of other diploma awarding institutions. The universities increased from 22 to 23 after Victoria University received a charter in the course of this year.
The number of beneficiaries is still low, thus the call for funding to have more beneficiaries, including continuing students.
The demand for student loans has certainly surpassed the available resources. While initially the applicants averaged at 2,000, the demand is now ranging to close to 10,000.
The loan covers students' tuition, functional and research fees, and funds to cover aids and appliances for persons with disabilities. Miriam Wumcha, UBC News.
The anti-corruption agencies and stakeholders want the young generation to be taught the effects of corruption. During the Uganda Speech and Debate Champions League by students on the fight against corruption in Kampala, it was noted that corruption affects service delivery. I beg your pardon. The debate held in Kampala is a precursor to the International Anti-Corruption Week of 9th December in Ibanda District.
Government has been fighting against corruption as evidenced with the different agencies. Statistics show that for the last 1 year, about 100 billion shillings has been recovered from corruption.
Inspectorate of Government, IG, investigated 26 high-profile cases and directed the recovery of about 30 billion Uganda shillings, of which 9 billion was from the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, 1 billion from UBOS, and the rest from other MDAs.
Of the 10 trillion shillings lost annually, the Office of the Inspectorate of Government cites none or under declaration of utility fees, absenteeism and inflated payrolls as the leading corruption channels.
We can estimate that this government has almost 6,000 payrolls, but almost on each of those payrolls there are ghost soldiers and ghost workers and also ghost service consumers, like ghost students and ghost teachers. And almost every payroll in schools, in hospitals, they have inflated payrolls.
Last year, a lifestyle audit was launched in the fight against corruption. However, the Office of the Inspectorate of Government says there is no legal framework for enforcement.
We needed a legal framework in which to operate the lifestyle audit. So, otherwise it will be challenged even in Parliament. What is the legal framework for implementing this? So we have spent the best part of this year working on the legal framework in which to operate the lifestyle audit.
This year's International Anti-Corruption Day is on the theme, Citizens Must Own Their War to Eliminate Corruption. It is their war.
Whereas in the past, the public were observers and commentators. Our focus now, and the reason we are saying all these things to the public, so that the public can join the war of corruption by first understanding that they are the victims of corruption.
Including you, the media. And our plight is, as government, let the media help us. We fight together to remove this vice, this cancer called what? Called corruption.
Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
Yes, that is our story to do with anti-corruption, where the IGG, Honorable Betty Kamia, and the State Minister for Ethics and Integrity, the Honorable Akelo Rose Lidi, called upon all Ugandans to be at the forefront of fighting corruption. We'll now take you to our other story to do with anti-corruption, where the young people are being called on to be part of the fight against the vice of corruption in our country. Let us now have the one calling on the young people.
Director, Project Risk.
One of the targets of ending corruption is engaging young persons in creating awareness. The State House Anti-Corruption Unit has engaged 12 schools in the Uganda Speech and Debate Champions League in preparing for the International Anti-Corruption Day due 9th December in Ibanda District.
People who are having political offices and then they are untouched.
The Deputy Head of State House Anti-Corruption Unit, Lailo Ocho, says involving the young generation is the right approach.
Ngabana tubayigiriza bategere ensonga ezikwatagana n'okulwanyisa enguzi enkya basobole kubanga be bakulembeze b'enkya.
Annette Atwine from the IGP's office says corruption and its effects compromise development.
If you are holding that position in government, you are a chief administrative officer, you are a sub-parish chief, you are what? You have a duty to fight corruption. Then the citizens also have a duty to raise an alarm because they are the victims of corruption. and they need to recognize corruption and be able to report about it.
The Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, Amos Ngorobe, also cites corruption in the country.
We have arrested and prosecuted quite a number of them, but there are many who escape because in the fight against corruption, you cannot get everybody. It is a slow process, getting evidence and so on and so forth. So yes, it is our duty to fight corruption as government. So this corruption affects all of us. Let us be positive in thinking, positive in acting.
The head of component GIZ urged the students to practice what they have learned.
People understand the challenge and the problems of corruption, but also understand how to deal with it and to fight it. I think there's a better future for Uganda when it comes to fighting corruption. So it's really good that you engage in this and you're embracing it. And I hope that beyond just learning how to debate it, you also get some ideas of how to deal with it, that you can become empowered.
Some of the students made remarks.
They ask us a question of why is corruption still there if these anti-corruption agencies have actually done some work. We tell that this could be due to moral degeneration or other problems which cannot be handled by these anti-corruption agencies.
The Uganda Speech and Debate Champions League was under the theme, Citizens must own the war to eliminate corruption. The International Corruption Celebrations will be held in Ibanda District. Deborah Namamonde, Susan Nabugode,
Paying for groceries the old way.
3, 4, yeah.
Allow me. Paying for groceries with the My Airtel app. You have the power in your pocket. The power to conveniently pay for goods and services. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
That's my wife.
Welcome to the Living Room Stadium. It's the FIFA World Cup. The match is about to start. Food and drink ready. There's no space left for anyone. Come on, get your lucky chair. Take your usual spot. Even the puppy has one. It's preparation time. You can feel the tension in the air. And do you have everything you need to believe?
MTN kutusako Shinda live ku Kampala Serena Hotel Victoria Hall Friday nga mwena December Neku Saturday nga 10 December Ukwingira shinje mtwalo 15 Emeze likaba ntomunana ya milioni 3 Hate alebadi wogulanga bujali Mtwalo 10 Eno 2 days mega concert Ku Sunday nga 11 Freedom City 16 December Chotela Mchawe 17 December Mbarara Ajip Motel 18 December Fort Portal au Mubuhinga Stadium One shillings mtwalo kumu VIP mtwale 3 Beautiful Shiba Swag Mama Ice Cream Queen Kama Waku konko na nyimba zezo na hit to hit Kati musale wunga buchalaba Tusale ko Serena Mujino wana bubaira mos butekelo Wabana bubasiria pizza matuga mpuruma Kenti events Yeti setinze Ne
MTN.
The Ministry of Health informs the public that there are confirmed cases of Ebola in Uganda. We have...
UBC Lunchtime News, welcome back from the break. Nkumba University is seeking collaboration for a law fraternity practitioner to embrace technology and online filing while in court. They were celebrating an achievement by a student, Ahimbisiwe Benjamin, who obtained an award for the Best Student Innovation Lawyer 2022 in Africa that took place in Ethiopia.
A lawyer and writer from Nkumba University, Ahimbisiwe Benjamin, was nominated in the Students' Legal Technology Person of the Year 2022, which recognizes lawyers involved in law development. The contests were organized in Ethiopia, where Ahimbisiwe Benjamin won the Best Law Student Innovator in the whole of Africa.
I'm privileged to have emerged the overall winner in the whole of Africa. The winner, the student lawyer, best student lawyer in the whole of Africa, and innovator. So these awards were organized by the Africa Legal Innovation team.
The award is a lead to coming up with a unique skill in the law field.
A message to my fellow lawyers, to the Uganda Law Society, that we need to give awards to people who have really worked for it. They have legal innovation awards, so they encourage everyone to innovate, set up something new. In Uganda, we also need something like this.
The communications officer at Nkumba University, Alan Intambi, appreciated Benjamin's achievement.
Being the first university to receive this, and it's something that we are doing, blending technology with law, bringing solutions together to the community, because we educate citizens that are going to improve this country.
Lubogo Christopher, a lawyer and writer who also obtained an award from the African Technology and Innovation Awards 2022 as Best Researcher, wants government rendering required support to tertiary institutions.
For example, like CRB, that are private, you know, institutes like Sujones, for example, that are private. So, and these are institutes that would have otherwise promoted our country in terms of inventions and discoveries. Everything you see on planet Earth, let it be in America, let it be in China, was begun by someone thinking outside the box and throwing the box away. So if you deny people to think and to think outside the box, then you're stifling their development. So government has to do everything under their power to encourage and enhance development.
Katamba Robert compiled this report for UBC.
That is all we had for you this afternoon. Thank you so much for watching. Let's catch you in our other bulletins. Newsroom is still at work. We'll give you news at 6 and 7, and I'll be here myself for news tonight. For now, enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.
The Ministry of Health informs the public that there are confirmed cases of Ebola in Uganda. We, however, urge the public not to panic as the situation is being managed. The Ministry of Health further reminds the public to be on the lookout for any persons who may show signs and symptoms of Ebola. These include high body temperature, abdominal pains, diarrhea, vomiting, bleeding from the body openings such as the nose, eyes, and mouth. Please inform the nearest health worker immediately if you see anyone with these signs and symptoms. To prevent Ebola from spreading further, please take the following preventive measures: regular washing of hands with water and soap, avoid handshaking and hugging, avoiding any contact with any suspected Ebola patients. Any person who dies suddenly should not be buried but reported to the